Evidence in question, a young father shot and killed by a federal agent during a raid. The tragic event unfolding in front of his family.
Now, more than 3 years later, a veteran Detroit police officer who witnessed Terrence Kellum's final moments is giving a different account.
I really commend Officer Fitzgerald for coming forward, and that the public should commend him for coming forward. We need more officers like that.
Tonight, 7 Action News reporter Simon Shaykett shows us how law enforcement is responding and who the family is calling on to launch an independent investigation.
It's the heartbreaking question.
This is his son. He asks me all the time, where's my daddy? Is my daddy coming home?
Kevin Kellum still struggles to answer. Only now, for the first time,
That was the most honest thing any man could have ever done, was to tell the truth.
testimony from a sworn police officer surrounding the death of Kevin's son appears to have changed. It was April 2015 when ICE agent Mitchell Quinn and other members of a fugitive raid team arrived to arrest 20-year-old Terrence Kellum at this home on Evergreen. Quinn told investigators he opened fire, killing Terrence, after the young father dropped down from the attic and rushed toward him with a hammer.
None of that was a lie.
Days after the shooting, protesters filled the streets demanding answers for the family. But a Detroit police homicide investigation found the shooting by Quinn to be justified based on their findings.
I'm certainly not going to charge people that we can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
Just as it seemed, there were no more twists in this case. This $50 million lawsuit has delivered a bombshell, a stunning claim from Detroit police officer Daryl Fitzgerald. Today, Fitzgerald contradicts his original statement, given 2 days after the shooting, that said, quote, "I could see Terrence with a hammer raised above his shoulder, and I believed he was about to strike myself and Task Force Officer Quinn." Fitzgerald now states Kellum was on his knees as opposed to moving toward him and Quinn, and there was no hammer in Kellum's hand.
When they walked him down the stairs, bop, bop, 2 shots rang out, dropped to his knees. Bop, 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 bop.
2 of those shots were protruded from the back going forward against the angle that the agent Quinn was shooting at.
Family attorney Nabia Yad also says the raid team did not have a proper search warrant. Kellum's fingerprints weren't found on the hammer with his blood on it. And that's not all. Retired state police forensic expert David Balash, retained by Ayad, points out more inconsistencies, such as different shell casings that could signify more than a single shooter, a lack of evidence photos, and this, quote, "The investigation appears to have been driven solely by what the shooter and the other members of the arrest warrant entry team told investigators happened, rather than having the evidence drive the investigation. Mr. Kellum was struck by 4 fired bullets, all entering his body from 4 different directions."
Let me see that picture again.
We took those same findings to an outside expert, Dr. Werner Spitz.
If he was holding the hammer and you hold the hammer tight and imprinting your fingerprints on the hammer.
Dr. Spitz also says a second shooter could have opened fire.
There are 2 different bullets.
Federal attorneys representing Quinn say Fitzgerald, quote, "did not recant his police report, but rather revealed his flawed recall of the event." Their response goes on to say Fitzgerald, quote, "testified his memory was imperfect."
You don't forget a moment like that, when somebody supposedly is coming at you with a hammer and somebody had to execute him.
Detroit police, the Wayne County prosecutor, and the city law department all cite ongoing litigation as a reason they won't comment.
Kim Worthy, now that you have this information, what are you going to do with it?
Attorney Nabia Yad says he is also reaching out to the Michigan Attorney General's office. He's going to ask Dana Nessel to personally look into this matter and launch an independent investigation. Simon Shaykett, 7 Action News.
Simon, thank you.